more Americans have been vaccinated for COVID-19 as of yesterday than have been infected with the illness itself. According to a Bloomberg vaccine tracker, 26.5 million people in the U.S. have now received at least one dose of the vaccine. That surpasses the 26.2 million coronavirus cases we've had since the onset of the pandemic. Are the numbers going down? They seem to be. Here's a headline from last night that I came across. Pandemic's deadliest month in the United States ends with signs of progress. The death toll in America has climbed past 440,000, with over 95,000 lives lost in the month of January alone. Deaths are running at about 3,100 per day on average, down slightly by about 200 from their peak in mid-January. But as the calendar has turned to February, the number of Americans in the hospital with COVID-19 fell below 100,000 for the first time in 2 months. New cases of infection are averaging about 148,000 a day. That has fallen from almost 250,000 just a few weeks ago. So, hospitalizations and new cases are plummeting. Deaths are still pretty bad, but as they always like to point out, that is what they call a lagging indicator. Deaths take longer to occur when somebody is sick with COVID-19. And then a final headline that I want to see if you want to jump into or not. This is going to get me in all kinds of trouble because I absolutely want to get the vaccine, and I think everybody should. However, I don't think you should be forced to. And that's going to create some interesting circumstances for all of us. If you don't get a vaccine, what's your life going to be like as we go forward? You're going to be allowed to travel? You're going to be allowed to go to a movie? You're going to need a card? You're going to need papers on your body to prove you've been vaccinated? How's this going to work? Because listen to this. More than half of Americans say they will refuse or delay getting a COVID-19 vaccine. While the number of U.S. residents who want the vaccine has crept up since December, 51% remain hesitant or downright opposed to getting their shots. This is a poll conducted by the Kaiser Family Foundation. And I suspect it's probably pretty right. I believe there's a big percentage of Americans who don't want to get it. I have friends who don't want to get it. I have family who don't really want to get it. And I don't look at this as my job to try to talk you into it. However, I'm going to try to talk you into it. Because ultimately, we are facing something that too many elected officials have taken and ripped this country apart and tried to shut this country down. Not everybody. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis had a news conference this week, a few days ago, that I wanted to share with you. Because a lot of this has been sort of a tale of many governors. Red states, blue states. Now, it's too bad. That's regrettable. This shouldn't be political. Unfortunately, it has become political. And when people argue, well, it's the Republicans who've made it political. Republicans have messed up the coronavirus response. Governor DeSantis points out lockdowns have been messed up as well. And that, of course, has been uniquely implemented by Democrat governors.
Florida also led and continues to lead on protecting the livelihoods of our people. While so many other states kept locking people down, Florida lifted people up. We believe every job is essential. You work in a restaurant, we have your back. If you are a hairstylist, we protect your right to earn a living. And if you are a parent, we ensure your kids have the right to attend school in person. Lockdowns do not work. School closures have been disastrous. Yet even today, we see across our country businesses shuttered, lives ruined, and schools closed. Indeed, in major parts of the country, students might not return to in-person instruction until the fall. Florida schools are open. Every Floridian has a right to work. All businesses have a right to operate, and Florida is better for it.
I happen to believe that's a leader. That's a leader right there. That's somebody that I'm proud to call my governor. It would not be the cocky, braying, book-writing, Emmy Award-winning governor of New York. No, that guy, DeSantis, is a guy who shows what leadership is like, and he is right. Lockdowns have not worked. Think they're working in California? All those thousands and thousands and millions of people out of work still? How's that worked out for California? It's so bizarre, as I've shared this with you, to go from state to state, to travel between states like Florida and New York and see how different things are. It's actually surreal. Like, life is pretty normal in Florida, and their numbers aren't appreciably higher in terms of deaths, hospitalizations, illness than California or New York. Well, why is that? Because lockdowns haven't worked. That's why. Teachers don't want to teach in Chicago. Governors don't want to open. Places are still closed, not allowed to have indoor dining. Just recently opening up outdoor dining. California in particular has been a disaster. They have been an absolute, unmitigated disaster in their response to coronavirus.